Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to review Spider-Man 2, which I watched last weekend with my wife, with commentary on. Commentary was quite good. I really enjoyed it. The two people that really made it interesting for me were Sam Raimi, the director, and Tobey Maguire, of course, who played Spider-Man. So, in Spider-Man 2, we have an established character. We know who Peter Parker is, we know his past, we know his motivations, we know who Spider-Man is, we know what he's capable of doing, more or less. So, what does Sam Raimi do with this character? Well, he has Peter Parker decide that he's tired of being Spider-Man. Now, I understand that Peter Parker's got a full plate. He's got a job, he's a full-time student, and he's trying to fight crime whenever he gets the chance. Okay, I get it. He's busy. He's stressed. But he's freaking Spider-Man! He's one of the coolest comic book characters that has ever existed. Period. Now, I realize he's not uber powerful. He's a nice mid-level superhero, okay? But he is one of the iconic superheroes of ever. Flat out, okay? And he has had such an influence on American culture and the world at large. They've even adapted him into the Indian market by making him an Indian character. I thought was kind of interesting. So, besides deciding I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore, you do get to meet Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, and I think that this was a very nice presentation of the character. I think it really is a nice translation from the comic to film. I really was fully engrossed by this character. I enjoyed him. I thought he was a lot of fun. It was nice seeing Harry Osborn really begin to make that slide into, you know, the Green Goblin, and I think it was done believably. And at the end of the film, you're really left, you know, wanting more, which is always a good sign. And the 10-year-old inside me loved this movie, and I freely admit that I think that this movie is probably better than the first one. And remember, I haven't seen the third one yet, so I have no opinion on that one yet. But the 45-year-old sitting here in front of you at the moment, I have a few issues with this movie. Okay, firstly, Peter Parker is an orphan, raised by his aunt and uncle. His parents are dead. There was no insurance payout. There was no life insurance, no lawsuits, no nothing. These people married, May and Ben were married for 50 years. In 50 years, they never paid off the house. And she could only have been taking care of him for the last 17 or 18 years. So for the previous 30 years, May Parker did what? Earn no money? And then Ben Parker dies. No life insurance? No payout? No nothing? Come on. This is absolutely unbelievable. There is no way that any of the Parkers would need money. Now, they're not going to be having lunch with Donald Trump, but they would have been comfortable. In their neighborhood, they would have been comfortable. There would have been no house payments. Then I wouldn't have had to worry about their college funds. And if Peter Parker is as intelligent as he's supposed to be in this movie, people would be throwing scholarships and grants at him. So the whole motivation of a broke guy, I didn't buy it. Now, if you do buy it, look into this. Harry Osborn is Peter Parker's friend. Harry Osborn's monthly dry cleaning bill would pay off that house. Okay, Peter Parker has too much pride to ask for help for himself. He's got too much pride to ask help for his aunt, who's old and can't afford where she lives. Give me a break. And then we've got his decision not to be a superhero anymore. And so he physically begins to change. He loses his ability to climb, he can't leap, he can't shoot webs, he's no longer strong and tough, and his eyes go back to needing glasses. What, being Spider-Man is all in your head? I mean, if I wish myself enough, I'm going to be able to start hanging from my ceiling and being able to lift up my car? I thought that was absolutely bull. And then last we have Dr. Octopus. Now, not only is this guy like one of the top 5 physicists on the planet. Now remember, this is the same universe with Iron Man. Tony Stark already solved the energy problem. We don't need fusion anymore. But this guy wants to make fusion. Fine. It's a hobby. But he's also the world's greatest roboticist because he created that rig with the tentacles. He's also the world's greatest neurologist because he knows how to take a rig like that and fuse it into a human body. And the world's greatest scientific researcher on prosthetics because he knows how to pull all this stuff together. So he's like the most important human being that's ever lived. He's Aristotle, Galen, Einstein, and Dr. Salk all rolled into one. And then he puts the rig on, which is wired into his spine, which is really dumb. And then he walks off the harness that the rig was hanging on before it was wired into his spine. Now that rig's got to weigh 300 pounds if it's an ounce. As soon as he walks away from that rack, his legs are going to collapse like wet noodles. So yes, I realize this is a superhero universe, but you bend reality too far, folks, and it breaks. And this film broke it for me. It made me not enjoy it on a second viewing. The first viewing, I was fine. My 10-year-old self loved it. But now that I saw it again, I'm looking at it, and all I'm seeing is the plot holes. All I'm seeing is the implausibility of it all. I can buy Spider-Man, folks, but everything else in this film made no sense to me. Though I did like the idea of getting to see Jameson's son, because he actually becomes a superhero / villain in the Marvel Universe. He becomes a werewolf, which is kind of cool. But you'll probably never use this, but he does become one. So if you like the first one, you're going to like this one more. But just don't think about it too much.